Another month.
Another
conversation about Warner Brothers and DC films.
I almost don't want to do this one now just because it feels bad, but man, okay, so Warner CEO Jeff Bewkes says Bewkes. It's a good last name. You could have fun with that. Says DC films have room for improvement. So
a little room for improvement.
A little.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. He in a conversation with shareholders, he tells them that the company is very aware that they have a problem on their hands. We do think there's a little room for improvement, Bewkes said. We can do a little bit better on the creative. The DC comic characters have a little more lightness in them than maybe what you saw in those movies. So we're thinking about that.
Which is a nice way of saying we fucked up. We gave Zack Snyder the key to the Porsche, and he drove it into a lake.
Yeah, sounds like the little course correction we expected after the Grimm, and I'm glad they just came out and said it. In-your-face nihilism of all three films released so far.
That was what Superhero Hype said. I wouldn't say it was in-your-face nihilism per se, at least from Man of Steel, but it wasn't happy, or it wasn't light, or it wasn't hopeful, let's just say.
But I believe somewhere in the, and they're talking about how they're worried. This didn't stop word that James Wan's Aquaman was still facing script trouble, with Wan possibly considering abandoning the project altogether. But you know, where is it? It talks a little bit about how, basically how everything's coming together, and that, you know, Ben Affleck is taking on the executive producer role at Warner Brothers' upcoming Justice League, and how everything's shifting around, and they're really hoping that this next push is going to be okay, but there's still word of, you know, problems on set, this, that, and the next thing. I would, once again, like I've said, I would love to see these next movies, you know, come together. I'm glad that the Justice League movie has not been split into two pieces. It's way too early for that sort of nonsense. And we'll see. It really doesn't matter. I mean, these are generating money, although not
as much as they should.
Not as much as they should.
Which is what he said was interesting. He said the strategy worked. The execution did deliver what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
Not
because
really.
Batman v Superman didn't turn a profit.
Right.
So that's a failure.
Suicide Squad, I think we
underestimated a little bit the performance.
Yes.
It did better than we thought it would do.
Yeah, $720 million worldwide. That did beat out what we thought it would do. But yeah, I mean, when the Warner Brothers CEO is finally admitting that, you know, they could do a bit better, it's time to shake things up and really cross your fingers.
He said the main thing was to launch DC and reinvigorate it with the fan base. Well, you didn't do that. You turned people off.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is what you're talking to shareholders. You can't alarm them totally. You have to do minor course corrections, or else the stock plummets like, you know, 50% the next day. The reboot of Batman with Ben Affleck was a big success. Well, yes, that was the positive out of that disaster movie, was that people liked Batman. But again, it didn't make money, and it turned people off overall
and everyone
to that
likes,
universe.
Everyone likes Batman.
Yes, and everyone likes Batman to begin with. So it's like... but I am looking forward to they're going to have Deathstroke as the villain in the next
I do really want that to turn out well.
I will see that in theater.
I will absolutely see that in theaters. Mark my words. I will go
50-50 chance I will see Wonder Woman, but that's a big 50. And that might drop.
That coin is going to be heavily weighted.
Yes, it might be a heavily weighted 50-50. It might be more of a 30-70
right.
When all said and done. Aquaman, you couldn't pay me to see an Aquaman movie.
You could have. I really actually was kind of thinking I'd see that, but it doesn't sound particularly promising at this point.
Well, maybe if you see Justice League and it delivers, you know.
That's a Snyder movie. I'm not going to go see
But is it, though? At this point, I really think they've locked him up in the trailer.
It's got his name on top.
But that's a legal thing. That's saving face. That's a Directors Guild thing.
And I am legally bound to not see a Zack Snyder movie.
I don't think, even if he's not even directing it, even if he's literally just... I think they did a bro-off between him and Affleck and did like a push-up contest. To
see like a pose down.
Hey, you know, let me just shoot this little scene, Ben. It's good. Arm wrestle me for it.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. before every scene. They did a bro off to do that. All right. Yeah, it's not good though hearing every single movie though is having some sort of difficulty or trouble. I mean, Suicide
even
Squad.
Wonder Woman.
Suicide Squad was successful in spite of itself.
Yeah.
Being that the editing was supposedly disastrous, and from behind the scenes they said there was like 4 different cuts of the movie that were done at the same time, and then someone mixing them together into an awful result that I think people saw it because I don't know, a lot of people still like going to Hot Topic, and that was their movie du jour of the summer. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of T-shirts at Hot Topic.
Because it didn't get good reviews.
No, but it had some decent graphic design, so it sold T-shirts.
It had Queen music in the trailer,
Yeah.
which probably saved it. That probably was 100 million right there.
Well, I bought this T-shirt now, so I guess I gotta go see the movie.
I like Harley Quinn. I gotta see it. There's news that there might be a Harley Quinn movie in the works, solo movie.
I believe there is.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So we'll see you June 2nd for Wonder Woman. We'll see you November 17th for Justice League, and then we'll see you in 2018 for Batman and I guess Aquaman at that point.
If we're still alive.
If we're still alive. World's gonna end after this election.